What's up, guys? In this video, we're gonna talk about how to properly cool down after your run. So guys, to talk about cooling down a little bit, what we see so often in a lot of our runners that we begin working with is that they have no idea how to cool down. Maybe they just run seriously straight back to the office or to home or to their car and hop in and just spend the rest of the day sitting. And what that tends to do is just make us very, very stiff. And if we're really stiff, we're not setting the scene for a very good workout the next time we come around. And then it'll just continue to snowball and manifest into a total mess down the road. So introducing a little bit of a cool down, even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes, is a vital step in making yourself a much better athlete and make sure you're keeping yourself healthy. So what we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna go through kind of my personal way that I like to cool down after a run. What this will look like is a lot of dynamic movements, so nothing really static and sitting on the ground and kind of just hitting end range stuff. I love movement as my cool down, so that's what we're gonna be looking at through this video. So the first thing that I do for my cool down is I'm gonna include at least a 5 to 10 minute walk. And the easiest way to do that is if I just stop myself about a half mile out from wherever I was going to end up, whether it's the car or work or whatever. By doing that, I'm gonna allow myself to kind of cool those tissues down a little bit before I start the real kind of dynamic cool down movements. And that's really important. And what you want to do when you start your walk is untie your shoes. So by untying your shoes, you can kind of let your feet breathe. If you're like me, you like to wear your running shoes a little tight, and it'll feel really, really, really good. I promise, if you can just untie your shoes as you walk those last kind of 5 to 10 minutes up to the car. All right, so you made it back to your car or work or home, whatever. And now it's time to start to do some more dynamic movement. Running in itself is very one directional. I'm doing the same thing many, many times in the same plane. My joints are doing the same thing a lot. So going into these dynamic movements is going to be really important in terms of cooling them down effectively and wholly. Movement itself is one of our most potent anti-inflammatory tools we have. So what we like to do for these cool downs is try to move our joints that are most affected by running as much as we possibly can. So that's things like our hips, our ankles, just the lower leg in general, the knee, the upper body, etc. So that's what we're going to go through right now, is some of my favorite dynamic movements to cool down your joints effectively. So we're going to start with the hips and hamstrings. Both of those are huge target areas for these dynamic warm-ups because they can get real tight on us if we don't effectively cool them down, and especially if we don't cool down and go sit for the rest of the day. So where I like to start is this kind of combo exercise of a deep lunge with a special hamstring emphasis, which we've done a couple times in our maintenance videos. But I really love this one for cooling down. So I don't have to really get on the ground, which is great. No one really likes to sit on the ground, especially if they're on a trail or a dirt parking lot like this. But I'm gonna be in this deep lunge. I'm gonna put my hands on the ground and that's it, okay? So from here, I'm trying to sink my hips deep and introduce movement. So again, we're talking about movement in these dynamics cool downs. We don't want to just sit here. Yes, it's better than just sitting in the car, but I want to really move around. So I'm thinking and kind of focusing on this front knee. So from this side, you can see the movement's coming from this knee and from the hip. And then once I kind of get comfortable there, I'm going to keep my hands on the ground. I'm going to drive this front leg back, and I'll get an amazing good big stretch through my hamstring, and then come back down. That would have been one rep, being that I'm in the lunge, drive back, return. I always try to get about 20 to 30 reps on each leg there before I move on to my next body part, which is going to be my ankles. Moving on to the ankle, what we're going to do is we need some sort of target. This could be a trail sign, this could be a wall, this could be a tree, this could be anything. Ideally, it's got a flat surface for your foot to be on, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna set a certain distance between your toe and your target, and what that target is going to act as is a place for you to try and touch your knee. So you try to touch your knee. That's a little far for me right now, so I would come forward a little bit and try and touch there. I'm not gonna try and touch and let my heel come up, so I'm not trying to push forward and let my heel gap away, I'm not actually expressing the range of motion in the ankle that we want. So you're gonna get 20 to 30 reps trying to work yourself as far back. You might start to increase your range of motion as you work through this, so adjust accordingly. But you're gonna go up, touch, a little far, touch every time. And what you're gonna do in terms of how to do this, you don't want to let your knee come in and up. You wanna have your knee driving kind of to the lateral aspect of that foot. Can kind of think of it as targeting towards your pinky toe as you work through that, because when we go inwards, we're gonna collapse our arch and our ankle isn't really in a stable position as we go through this. So we want to encourage the range of motion of a stable joint, and what that'll look like is pushing my knee towards the kind of front lateral aspect of the foot. All right, and the final piece for this cool down, we're gonna work on our foot. What we're gonna work on is toe extension. We've done this many times in our maintenance videos. But what we're gonna look to do is we're gonna stagger our feet. So if I'm working on my right foot, I'm gonna make sure it's square to the front, and now I'm gonna make as much contact with the toes as I can. So I shouldn't be on just my big toe or just the little toe. I should try to get as much kind of traction of the toe as I can on the ground. From there, I'm gonna pull my knee forward, driving my toes hard into the ground as I go through this, and then pull myself back. What we don't want to do is go so far that we basically lose contact with the bulk of the toe. So if this was my toe on the ground, if I come so far that I'm just kind of on the tips of them, I'm not really expressing range of motion. So I'm looking to get as far as I can in the toe itself by driving them down into the ground. So as we've been going through this cool down, we've been going through the 20 to 30 rep scheme, and it's the same for this as well. 20 to 30 reps being 1, 2, back and forth for each foot. Thanks for watching this video on cooling down. If you liked it, be sure to let us know by hitting the like button below. If you have any questions or comments about this video, be sure to let us know in the comments. We'd also love to hear if you guys have any requests for future videos, which is something you can drop into the comments as well. We have a ton of stuff on our channel as well in terms of mobility, injury prevention, running techniques, strength training, training plans, etc. And that's all stuff you can find if you subscribe to our channel, and you'll get updates about future stuff as we move forward. We'd also love to offer you guys a free gift on injury prevention for making it this far in this video. If you click the link up here in the picture, you'll be taken to a place where you can drop your email, and then we'll send that out to you as well. If you are on a mobile device and can't click that little guy, you can go into the description and find a link for the same place for you to, for us to take you to drop your email and get that free gift coming to you. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.